And I am now recording, okay? And I'm going to share my screen. Okay. You should be able to see my entire screen, okay? Um, and you'll see that I have Firefox open. And so anyway, welcome to a tour of the Evergreen Web Client. And basically, first of all, a couple of things is that if you're interested in using the web client, please open a ticket with Spark support and we'll get you started with your URL and that kind of thing. Why the web client? Well, I explained this in previous calls and it never hurts to, say it again. First of all, it is faster. And last time I said that, we had just started using it. It really is faster. Okay, it really is faster, and we're hearing that from libraries. Second of all, no local installation. So if we do an upgrade, okay, if we do an upgrade, you don't have to reinstall the client. You simply point your web browser wherever it's to the URL, and there you go. You can use it anywhere, okay, which is great. Again, point the web browser, and there you go. You don't have to install anything. That's another great thing about it. It works with Firefox and Chrome. Does not work with any Internet Explorer, or it does not work with, at this point, Safari. Okay, so Chrome and Firefox. It does work on an iPad, however. I tested this myself. If you have the Chrome app, okay, so you can have it work on your iPad, and so that's kind of cool. So that's why the web client. Now, basically, I'm at the login, okay, and first of all, it's a web browser. So if your browser is configured to remember things, it'll remember your username and password and others as well. That's a browser configuration, okay. If you don't care about that, for me, I like it because I don't have to remember my password, but it could be different at a circ desk. Um, the first time you go in, you'll be asked to set up a work. It prompts you to kind of register a workstation. Mine's been registered already, and so you can do that and associate. Call it what you want. Mine is called Pales ED, and it's associated with LC_AL. That's your that library is the Albright Memorial Library in Lackawanna. You can see that because I do a lot of troubleshooting, you can configure your web client installation on your particular browser for multiple works. I'll show you that near the end, for multiple workstations. So why would I want to do that? Well, for my case, I have to log in as Nazareth. There's an example there, and Ralpho, and Susquehanna, and Allentown, and Bangor to help them troubleshoot. But in your case, okay, you may be a library system where you have a cataloging department that needs to log in as other libraries. You may have a bookmobile. That's another common. So if you're a library, typically a larger one, it may help to have multiple workstations. Some of you aren't going to care. Once you register your workstation, you're all good to go. You'll never have to worry about it again. Okay. So since I'm already registered, I can't show you how to do that. It's not that hard to do. And so I'm going to log in, and we'll see what happens. And hopefully my computer won't crash. Okay. Now here we are. It's Evergreen. Okay, it looks the way the other one looks, and so basic navigation. There's a home that always gets you back here. Okay, this looks very similar to what you have now. You have drop-down menus for circulation, for cataloging, for acquisitions, for booking, which no one uses, and for administration, which you may never use, or which may use bits and pieces. So the first question I always get is, can I customize this so that I don't see acquisitions, so I don't use? And the answer is no, not at this time. You won't have permission to use everything. Okay, depends on how you log in, but you will not have, for instance, permission to use acquisitions unless you already have that. So it's not like you can use this stuff unless we set you up for permissions for it, but it's going to be there and you're going to see it because we can't hide it at this time. Okay, so that's the first thing. Now, I want to show you two little browsery tricks. By the way, one of the first things you want to do when you first log in is bookmark this or put it on your shortcut. Now, I didn't even know how to do this. I had forgotten how to do this. But basically, in Firefox, I take this little thing. I assume you can see my mouse. and drag it down to here. And I can't, well, I'm not going to do it right now, but anyway, you can drag it onto your desktop and create a shortcut for you. Most of you probably know how to do that, but I didn't. So there you go. Anyway, create a shortcut or a bookmark so you immediately get into it so you're not fumbling around for it. And that's the first thing. So I'm logged in. Another little browser trick that I want to show you right off the bat is search for patrons. We'll do that. Okay, say I want to search for patrons. And but I just searching for a patron, and I just got interrupted because a patron wants to check something out, but I don't want to lose my work. You can do that in the XUL client. To do that in the web client, you use the old browser trick of right-clicking and going open in a new tab. Okay, and then over here, okay, I can check out. So I can then go between patron search and checkout, patron search and checkout. So open in it, right click, open a new tab or new window if that's your preference. You can do. So that's a that's a browsery thing, okay? And that's how that works. So anyway, let's see. Okay. So that's basic navigation, real easy, okay? And by the way, for most of you who've used Spark before, a lot of you can use this with no training whatsoever. You're going to see that in a second. So I'm going back home here where I was before, okay? And I'm going to take you through searching for patrons, and we'll do that. And let's see here. I'm trying to drag things around because I want to show you a little gotcha. I'm going to show you gotchas, by the way. Things first time you use it, like, oh my God, I can only see, I'm going to search for a patron, I only search by name. It looks that way, doesn't it? But this little thing right here, I found out the first time I used the web client, for some reason that's minimized. I don't know why. Once you go like that, you can see all of your search windows, your search fields, and there you go. Now this should look familiar to you. It's all the search fields you currently have, plus date of birth. That's new. You can search by date of birth now. And there's the usual stuff, okay? And you can search I'm going to be searching all of Spark. You'd probably, by the way, it does remember. So if I wanted to kind of like refocus this to another library, I can do that and it would remember it. Okay, now, so what I'm going to do is, okay. Okay, I'm going to search for me. Okay, because that's what I tend to do, and it is going to, okay, now I'm searching all of Spark. That came up pretty fast, and I don't have the best internet here, and I'm on top, okay? Now, a couple of things, let me just drag. I don't know if you guys can see that GoToMeeting window, but I'm going to get it out of my way if you can't see it. Okay, you guys recognize the grid, okay? Now, this grid is set because either A, this is where I want it to be, or B, I was too lazy to actually configure it. But anyway, regardless, this is the grid I have. You can, as you can in XUL, change the settings, change what you want in the grid. Okay, so all of whatever it is you have now, whatever things you like to see and don't like to see, you can have at it. And then click on Save Columns, and it'll save your changes. Okay. I can also download a CSV of the grid and print the grid. I can also configure the columns. This looks scarier than it is, but basically I can change their order in the grid, or I can shrink, expand. It tells you, here's where I want them. Okay, I won't show you that, and that sort of thing. So you can, like you currently can now, reorder the grids, configure, customize the grid, that kind of thing, and then save columns will save it. Okay. Any questions about that? Okay. So anyway, that's my search results, and I'm going to move this over, and I'm going to just simply touch my record. Now, one big difference you can see is that it paints my information on the left instead of the top. Right over here, you can see the basics about me. I want you to just take note of the group finds for now. Right now, it's in a different place than it used to be, which we'll get into in a second. But there's all the stuff, the summary about me. Okay. Again, right now, you have to kind of go through the top to get it. But basically, right now, it's there. I have some notes. Okay, 2 notes. Okay. that was a bad example. Anyway, so yeah, I have some notes in there that didn't behave the way I wanted to because I realized what I did. But be that as it may, now what we're going to do is we're going to check something out to me. Okay. Now, again, this is no different. You can see that I can do my not my precats or whatever. All that works the same. I can use an alternative date. All works the same. These grids down here are very configurable again. So what I'm going to do is I have a Word document that has a barcode that Scranton was nice enough to create for me to test. And I'm going to take that, and I meant to minimize you. There you go. And I'm going to do a Control V.
You can actually put this in, yeah, because you'll be the one doing that. So
Okay, now, you didn't hear that it just made, but let's see. Somebody asked, so he has $3 in fines personally, and group fines are $475. Yes, that is true. That is the total of the entire group. Okay, and I'll show you that. I'll get to there in a second. Groups are in a different place than they were previously. Did I miss anything else in the chat? Somebody asked about groups. Okay. Yeah. Basically, in our ILS, you can group people together. Okay. That is for purposes of simply determining, I know there are other people in my group that have fines. What it does not do is you cannot block people by groups. You cannot deny circulation by groups or do any of that kind of thing. It's simply, oh, there's people in my group of 475, and that's as far as it goes. Okay. Now, let's see here. Let me move this over. I just checked this out to myself. Okay. Now, one of the things there, I'm going to click on this done thing. See how it says email receipt? Yes, you can now email receipts. Okay. But before we do that, I want to do something different. This one I haven't tried on my computer yet. Okay. And I'll talk about email receipts in a second. Here we come to a gotcha. Okay. The receipt printing uses your browser's print capabilities. Now, I have no receipt printer, but let's find out what happens because it'll be illustrative. So I'm going to click on print receipt, and it opens up my print dialog box on my whatever I have on my computer. It's going to print to my Dell. Likely the first time you use this to print a receipt, it will likely not default to your receipt printer, so you just have to change it, then it'll remember it. I have some other printers on there too, okay? Second gotcha is that we've seen them. The first time you print receipts coming out in landscape versus, whatever the other one is, letter. And anyway, portrait, that's it. You see, that kind of thing. I've seen footers that come out that are crazy. So you have to, and this is library by library, okay, go into your printer properties and mess with it. Okay, and I know that I've helped, so in other words, once it's fixed, it's fixed. So that's different because in the XUL client, it does not use anything else. It just prints the receipt. Here, it uses this whole, whatever's in your browser. I will tell you this, there is a way, what they call silent receipt printing, using a program calling, what is it called again? I lost it. Someone help me. Eugene, what is it called? It starts with an S or not. Hash. No? Okay. No one. Someone tell me this in the. Okay. Hatch. Thank you, Katie. I had to scroll all the way down the chat thing there to find it. Okay. Yeah, I had a mental block. There's a program called Hatch that you can install. I don't have it. We bought Lugene a receipt printer so she can mess with it. So you can use Hatch to do silent receipt printing. But for now, when you guys come on, you may have to deal with this a little bit. I just screwed myself up here, didn't I? Anyway, now I will say this, that in my patron record, it is configured to print. I am configured to send an email receipt automatically. So when I click on that done, and I screwed myself up here, so I'm not going to. Well, Let me just do this here. Oh, I want to show you a cool feature. Let's see if it works. Retrieve last patron, because I lost myself. Okay, and there I am again. Oh, I lost myself. So, and basically, check out here. If I click on done, and you couldn't see this because I don't even know if I actually did it, but anyway, I did do it. But if you click on done, or even if you don't click on done, when you're just finished with it, it would have emailed a receipt to me. Okay, you can also manually email a receipt or print no receipt if you wish. Okay, anyway, that's the story with that. So that is. Let me see. Someone had questions back here. Make sure I got them all. Hatch. Um, okay. But if I customize a computer, is it that unique to me as a user or unique to this particular computer? To the browser. To the browser. Okay. It is unique. That's a good question. So, that's the way that works. Um, let's see here. So, okay, customizations are all browser based. Okay, so that's the way it works. Okay, obviously, it depends on how you log in the computer. Whether people don't do that a lot anymore, though. Anyway, I digress. But anyway, it's browser based. Okay. Did I miss anything there? Some workstations. Okay. Um, okay. I think you can block groups and says if the threshold is set, it happens to us all the time. And whatever's going on at PMPL, it's not blocking groups. You can't really do it. In other words, if Junior has a lot of overdue fines and Mom's okay, Mom's not going to get blocked. It just doesn't work that way. So I'm not sure what's going on there at your place. Heather says that some are workstation specific.
Oh, no, I'm doing a webinar, but what do you mean?
Let's see, somewhere works, somewhere library. Yeah, there are settings. Heather is right. There are certain customizations that are set at the library level, but those tend to be already set. They're not dependent on the staff client you're using. So you're not going to run into a lot where we have to do something on your local settings. Okay. So thank you, Heather. That is true. Okay. Let's see now.
Yeah, right. Okay. But there's no place.
I have to look at. I'm going to have to look at what's going on up there, Pocono Mountain, because this question comes up a lot. Can you block groups? The answer is no. Yeah, please. Because basically,
without giving me to check, because
so
the fact that it says block to a security threat, it doesn't. It's not.
I don't know
think
if
that's
the person out there is asking a question. Someone's
one of these,
or they're having. Okay. I think whatever it is. Okay, I didn't know if that person was asking a question or not. Okay, sorry about that. Now let us then change. Well, let's see. Now I'm going to go to items out. Okay. And items out, there is a thing I just checked out. That is basically exactly the same as what you're used to. Again, I can modify the grids. I can set certain, I can check in using a specific due date. And that's that, well, I'm sorry, items out. I'm getting confused. I can basically right click and perform actions. Okay. Like you can now. Okay. I can perform actions on these items I have out. I can also do that in the actions menu. So, when you can do again, no different. Okay, I can modify these columns. Note that I cannot at this time show more than 100. We got mad when we saw that because some previous group of programmers basically said that's all you need to see. No, we need to see more. So we're going to have all there soon. Okay, so that was a little. That's the way open source works. The first group of people that worked on the system said, "Yeah, you don't need that." Yes, we do. Anyway, so if you need to see more than 100, some large libraries do need to see 100 in the grids. Not this grid so much, but well, items out, yes, certainly item status. So that is basically we're working on that one to fix it. Okay, we have holds. Again, I'm not telling you anything you don't know. They're all the same. That's not different. We have bills. Okay, I do have $3 in bills. All of this is the same, the way you pay them, the way you view their history. None of it's different. Grids are configurable. Okay, right clicking gives you actions. Okay, actions. gives you actions, the same actions. Okay. Now, edit. What do I want to show you there? It seems like there's. Okay. Edit is not different, but I do want to look at this right here. Email checkout receipts by default. That's been there, and it's also there in my account in the staff side, in the patron side. So you can make it so that they always get the email receipts. Just so you know, you may not have noticed that before. I don't know if there's anything else in here that I want to show you. Okay, that's again all the same. See, I told you it's not really not a lot of retraining done. Some of you new libraries who are not on the system are probably going, oh, you're going too fast. Well, you guys will get full training in this, but for those of you who've been using the system, obviously, this is not different. Finally, I want to. By the way, I can't. Let me see if anybody's chatting. Uh, and I apologize because I have trouble seeing the chat. Okay, no one after Ann's, please. Okay. Yeah, we'll find out why your groups are being blocked. So anyway, okay, under other, I just want to show you this. Group member details, this came up before. You see my whole family there, and that's where that group is in a tab now. Here it's under other. I just wanted to point out group because it's not something that, because it's in a different location, that's all. Any questions about looking at a patron? Okay. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to go here and I'm going to go to search and search for copies by bar. Okay. Basically, this is item status, of which there is no difference. Okay. Oh, but one thing that's an irritant of mine here, it's called search for copies by barcode, but lo and behold, look what's under circulation. I was at Nazareth, and one of the staff members there. Why can't they just make up their minds and call it something? That's us. I always say there's no they. It's us. We're the community. And one of the things I complain about in the community is standardization of terminology. So this is item status, and this is item status. Okay, so I basically put this particular book in that I'm using as a test. And again, you have your grids. You can upload to CSV like you can now, and you can take actions like you can now. And there is the detail view and the list. Again, nothing different there. Okay, so no gotchas that I know of with item status, except for the limitation on only being able to display 100. Oh, by the way, for those of you who use, there is another gotcha there. Well, I guess I can show you it. There are problems we found, and I'll explain. Note that the title is used as all lowercase. And why is that a problem? Because some of our libraries use item status to print their spine labels and their pocket labels, and you can't have, especially with pocket labels, lowercase authors and titles. And again, the first group of libraries that worked on this didn't care. This group cares deeply, and so we're getting that one fixed. That's imminent too, just so you know. There's a couple of other item status minor bugaboos, but it's open source. I don't mind showing you the bugs. So anyway, okay, so that is that search the catalog. So there's two things I want to show you there. One, okay, okay, so let's do something first. Well, actually, you know what? I can show you both things at the same time. Okay, so I am in the staff clients. Now, I want to show you something. This is all the same, all the searches here. Nothing's changed except this digital book plate. And so that basically is a version of what we know now as copy notes. So I'm going to search for this, and we're going to go in and do the search, and then I'm going to show you something cool here. I think this John Mayle one will do it, hopefully. Well, made a fool out of me. Well, that did not work the way I thought it would. Let me just go back here. Search results. I just found another. For some reason, I'm getting search results that I was not anticipating, so I'm going to look at this one. It does work. There it is. Okay. Donated to the Scranton Public Library in memory of Paul Dickstein. Searchable memorials, searchable donations. Those are digital book plates. I just noticed a searching problem, which I have to look at. But anyway, so you can see there, that's what digital book plates are. What we're going to do, some of the library, we're testing them. Some of you libraries out there like Blair and Lackawanna, you guys have had yours converted. At the end of the year, okay, those of you who wish to have your copy notes converted to digital book plates, we will do so in kind of one big project. Okay, when you migrate, they'll still be in copy notes, but we will then migrate them over if you wish to have them as such and have them searchable. Only the copy notes you want moved, because I know you'd have some internal things in copy notes that you may not want publicly searchable, but your memorials certainly. So that's going to happen later in the year, for you. Now, question: if you come on the system if you're on the web client, by the way, new migrations, yours are already be digital book plates. If you have in your, if you already have memorial information in your, your current ILS, you'll have digital book plates. Those of you who've been around a while, you will basically have, at the end of the year it'll occur. So basically, that's a story there with that. So I hope that's clear. I rambled a bit, but anyway, digital book plates, your memorials, your donations, publicly searchable, become digital book plates. By the way, if you want to catalog those of you who are existing libraries, if you want to catalog your new stuff and put in digital book plates, you can do that. We can show you how to do that. It's not that difficult, but anyway, you don't have to use digital book plates if you come on the web client. You can keep doing what you're doing with copy notes. At the end of the year, we're going to ask you, do you want to bring them over, okay, and have a big project, and that'll be done for you with some training in how to add them yourself. It's not that hard. It's not that different from copy notes, but be that as it may. Any questions about that? Okay. Now, let me do this for you. Something else. Some of you know about this one, but I'll show you. Okay, I'm in place hold. Just forgive my navigation here because, again, I'm trying to move this window around. I am at the circ desk, and I basically, the patron, okay, I don't know the patron's barcode. So I have to go into, patron search and find it and paste it in. No more. You go into patron search and this will come up and you can search for the patron right there and it will insert it into, the place hold. So no more doing that. That's a piece of development that you guys wanted and that we put in. And that is the great thing about, about open source, is that it, basically, if we want to put something in there, we have the capability of doing so. Okay, any questions about that? Okay, so that's digital book plates. The two things I wanted to show you that did change in the search. Now, let's see, what else do I want to show you? So I showed you the search, okay? So now I'm going to show you, these here, check in, check out, are all pretty much the same. Check out just as an example, okay? Looks familiar. Again, I don't know if you can, there. If you know the patron's barcode, as you know, you can also search for the patron and check out from the record. But anyway, that's all the same. This is really all the same. Check-in, capture holds, pull list, register the patron. Retrieve last patron is new, okay? Pending patrons for those of you who use the self-reg registration, but this is new, user buckets. So we're going to show you user buckets, and buckets are ways to batch edit things, and in the system. And so I'm going to I'm not actually, these are actually real patrons, so I'm not going to actually edit them, or the library out there is going to get mad at me. But I'm going to show you something here. I'm going to go and browse for a CSV that I hopefully have on there. And there I just brought in some patrons. Okay, so I'm going to add these patrons to a bucket called demo. Okay, and then I'm going to go to here, and I'm going to go to a demo. Actually, I didn't probably need to do that. Let's see here. What did I do wrong? Okay, there we go. Okay, I put it in the wrong place. I'm sorry. Okay, look, I have all these patrons here. In all of them are individuals, just like you can in item buckets and copy buckets, and I can delete them. I can batch edit them, and I'll show you that in a second. Or I can edit their stat cats, and I can batch edit them. Here, you can see what I can do. I can give the name for the set. I can change the home library. Now here's a good example. Profile. There is also called permission group. Okay, so yes, they wonder why people get confused. Internet access level, barred, active, juvenile, and expiration date here. Plus elsewhere, you can edit your statcats. Here's another great thing about it that God, I wish this were elsewhere in the system. You can roll back. You can roll it back if you just edited like 500 patrons into barred, including your board president, and you say, "Oops, I made a mistake." You can roll it back. That which is I think is cool. So anyway, patron buckets, that's new. Most of this offline. This I want to show you offline here. I got a great question for this one. So here's offline. Okay, the first tab I go to is session management, and where I can do all that kind of thing like upload sessions. So it's all here. And then if I go into checkout, I get this warning saying you are about to go into offline mode. Do you want to? So I got to ask this really good question. How am I supposed to get into offline mode if we're down, especially if we have no internet? I'm like, really good question. I don't know. So what I did was when I got home, I went to my laptop and disabled the Wi-Fi on it, and you know basically I was able to get into offline because everything's cached, so you do not have to worry about being offline. You can get into offline mode even though you're offline, if that makes sense. However, one little thing I would show you up here is I would make a shortcut of this URL, because one thing, you can't get into the main screen if you're down, your internet's out. So you may want to bookmark this offline URL so you can go right to it if you need to. Hopefully not often. So that's the deal with offline. So it does work because our new migrations use that when they're down for the for the times that they're down. Okay, so circulation pretty much the same. Okay, except for the ones I showed you. Cataloging, I won't go into that right now. I'll go into it. Well, actually, a couple things I want to show you. Well, let me show you cataloging just briefly, because there may not be many catalogers out there. It's the same. You can see it here. Not many things are different. I'm not going to go into I'm not going to go into detail here. Not too many things to do. The copy editor looks a little bit different. And one thing I just will tell you, well, two things for you catalogers out there that are, good news, real good news. First of all, your copy templates you can export them from XUL and import them back into here. So if you use copy templates, they are transferable. You have to transfer them. And somebody asked a question about offline, so let me finish. Veronica is from one of our new libraries, so I'll answer Veronica. I'll answer your question in 1 sec. Let me just finish my little thing here about. Okay, so copy templates are transferable. I'll talk about that in a second. However, another gotcha with for catalogers, the biggest one, are whatever templates you have set up for your spine label printing do not transfer over. You have to create them from scratch. And for those of you who do use the item status, once we get those bugs fixed, it should work the same. Those of you who use the actual templates that are in, basically, you're going to have to redo them. That's kind of the biggest, and that's the biggest thing. But aside from that, and that's not a small thing, by the way. But anyway, I realize that cataloging is basically the same. I'm not going to get into too many details now with it. So Veronica asked, just to make sure I know what you said, we could use offline mode for the period before we go live so we don't lose anything. Yes. You will go on offline mode when your old ILS, you're told to sign off for those 3 days. You can use offline. And then on the day you go live, we will help you import your records into the system, the transactions during the 3 days into your system, and that whole thing. And it does, by the way, it does work. It really does work. Huntington, well, all of our libraries have used it. And Huntington, though, okay, used it in the web client for the first time. It worked like a charm. And Potter Tioga will be using it very soon, and so it does work. I know that people coming from other ILSs are scared of offline. No need to be scared of Evergreen's offline. It works. I will say, and just Veronica, so you know, you will also get a list of exceptions. So if you know how it is when you're offline and you misscanned a barcode, you have no way of knowing. You'll get a list of, oh, these ones didn't go through, so you can kind of attend to them later. So that's kind of cool. Okay, what else do I want to show you?
Scott?
Yes.
Hi, it's Lene
Yes.
from EMPL.
Yes.
Yeah, I was trying to work with item status just to batch edit like a call number, but I wasn't able to do it. I had to go search the item individually and then make a change. Is there something I'm missing?
Basically,
Like to do several at a time as opposed to individually, because that's what I'm used to.
I am unaware that you can't do that. So I will look into that for you. I do not have an answer to that right now. Let's put it this way: you should be able to. It's possible that that's not in there. So, Lene, I'll look into that for you, and I will get back to you on that one because I am not sure. I don't have an answer to that question at this time. Yeah, the answer is you should be able to, and whether it's a procedural difference or there is a real that someone didn't configure in the programming. Again, you're going to find things that you might use all the time that no
Right.
one put in there. And you're like, really? You didn't put this in there? And we've actually had to put them in ourselves because, and so the whole community benefits when we put it because we're on now, we're finding stuff, so we're going to fix it. So I'll look into that for you, Lynn. I'll get back to you. That's a good question. Glad to hear
And
you're
even
using
well, it just started. I was using it from home actually, and I even tried putting those items into a bucket, and I wasn't able to do something as simple as change the call number. But again, I had to then search each item individually and then change it that way.
How many of them
So
were you working on? How many?
just two.
Oh yeah, there's something going on there, so I'll look into that for you. That's a good one. Okay,
The other thing- Yeah, just one more question. Sorry. Why item status is such a popular tool? Why is it buried under Circ as opposed to being?
It's under circulation and it's under cataloging. Okay, and is it here though? One thing too, by the way, I'm going to try something here. But yet it's not. Whoever decided what goes here needs to have their head examined, honestly, because it's useless. Because wouldn't you put item status here? Because everyone loves it. But I'm going to try something.
Right.
Look what I just. F5 still works. I don't know how. I don't know why. F5 still works. Okay, which I didn't think it would in a browser setting. So you can, Lene and everyone, get to item status real fast by just pressing F5 like you can now. So that's at least one good thing. But yeah, it's kind of like if I were doing this is not customizable, but probably I'd have like a big item status up here. So, that's like the most popular of our interface. And anyway, that's a good question, Lene.
Will this be changed? Could it be changed in the future?
It could be in the future. It is not right now. Heather goes, the F keys seem to work in Webby. I've tried a few of them. So it's not just F5. Heather, thank you, because I've only been messing with F5. So that's good news. Okay, good. So I didn't think they would. So live and learn. Okay, now I'm not going to go into reports in any kind of detail, but I just want to show you because you'll know for better or for worse, they don't look any different. Okay, basically. Some do, some don't. Hit and miss, says Joel. Basically, look, I'm in reports. Everything looks the same. You can search for templates here. I frankly haven't had much luck with it, but now, so if you just get your reports emailed to you, nothing changes. If you go into here and get your reports, nothing, you can still do that and configure them. However, templates, if you're a template junkie, okay, and there are a few of you out there, okay, templates that you created in XUL cannot be modified and cloned in Web Client and vice versa. So, if you have you can run the report from it. Oh, that's good. So if you have a wonderful template out there and you want to go Web Client 100%, you have to basically recreate it from scratch. Yes, it's a pain. Okay, and the word out there is that someone is working on a way to convert them. I have not seen any evidence of that, but let's hope that occurs. Otherwise, I know there are people out there that are busily recreating them. But anyway, so just so you know, that's the one. Aside from that, reports are the same. Okay. Let's see here. Um, and finally, a couple of things I just have two more things to show you that are kind of let's see, this workstation. Okay, I talked about how you can have multiple workstations, and if you wish, some of you will never see this or never need to, you can go into workstations and create new workstations for yourself. So I'll do it for you because this is what you're going to have to do the first time you use it. Let's see, who do I want to log in as? Ooh, randomly. I am going to go to, let's see here. Oh, Ulysses, one of our new ones, Potter Tioga. Let's do it. So, oh, that's exciting. Okay, I just chose, I want to log in as Ulysses, okay? By the way, if you guys try to log in as one of these other libraries, you don't have the permissions to do anything with them, just in case you get scared. It's like, can someone log in as my library? No, the answer is no. I can do all kinds of stuff. So basically, I'm going to register the workstation, okay? And I just did, and now it shows up on my list. And I can use it. So just so you know, you're going to have to, first time you log in, you're going to have to do that. I'm not going to log in as Ulysses right now. Because I'm not going on any odysseys. But anyway, let's see, I'm going to go back button. Nice thing about a web browser, I can use the back button. Okay, the other thing I wanted to show you, okay, is here. This is another little bit of a gotcha. Okay, um, basically receipt templates. If you've customized your, I talked about printing them. If you customize them in XUL, you added cool things, okay? You can't, they will not transfer over. You cannot export them. Even though there's an import-export, you cannot do that. So basically, now, the ones from what I'm hearing from the libraries, the defaults are fine. I can live with them. Now, those of you who like this kind of thing, and we want you to do this, can modify your own, can do your own customizations if you wish, and basically, encourage you to do so. Here's the good news: there's more straight HTML stuff than there used to be in the old templates. So if you like that kind of stuff, you can do it. We don't have. I'm waiting for you guys to work on it so you provide some documentation for the rest of us. I cannot claim, I personally don't have any expertise in doing that. So the receipts are another gotcha, okay, to go along with the label printing, okay, there is the receipt. But I can tell you that just the out-of-the-box vanilla templates work fine. I mean, look, welcome to the Albert Memorial Library, Slow Jones, okay, or Jones Slow, actually, okay, and all this kind of stuff, okay. These are all the examples they have in there. It all looks okay. It's not crazy, but if you did cool things, again, you're going to have to get cracking on your code here. So anyway, let's see here. Do you guys, that's all I have to show you. Really, this is designed to be an overview. Does anybody have any questions about that I didn't go over? Anybody who's using it have anything that I didn't hit on or anything like that? So anything at all. Okay, just to give you an idea of what happens here, you can go on this anytime you want. I mean, I could give you the URL. We can give you the URL. You can go on without any training whatsoever. In some libraries, I've traveled, that are, I've been known to come on site, and Lugene has too, to some libraries that if you want to do it that way, you do not have to do this now. Okay, you do not. If at some point in the future, the XUL client will go away completely and be unusable. That is not happening anytime in 2018. Will it happen in 2019? I don't know, but most likely we're looking probably that far in the future for it to completely go away. But as you already saw, there are features in the new one that you cannot use in the old one at all. And so if you like the new features, then you're going to want to come to the web client if you want fast. Which everybody does. You're going to want to come to the web client. If you just like, so that's what happens. So you kind of, if you want to come on to open a ticket with us, we have a email list of people who are just on the web client where when they find bugs, and you will find them. They report them. It's kind of cool because it's open source and you get to find stuff, and we see if we can fix them. So, and we found quite a few, which is I don't know. I find that a badge of pride for Pales that we found some bugs that no one found before. It's like naming a star after you or something. Anything else for us or me or anybody that I can answer? I'm going to the chat here. Okay, someone asked, where's she from? Krista from Valley, I believe. Could I start using this on a personal laptop for lack of one today? Speak to the folks downtown there, Krista, because they're deploying it, and will supply you with the URL and stuff like that. So talk to who I'm, the folks downtown, and they'll get you going on that. By the way, those of you like Lackawanna and Federated Systems, before you go on, you may want to check with your IT folks or whomever handles the ILS for you at the system level, before you just go on, because guess who's going to get the questions? The first questions will and sometimes be the IT departments. So, Krista, we're happy to have you on there. Just check with the folks downtown. Okay. Any other questions or anything? Well, okay, thank you for listening to me today. And, again, when I sign off, I'm going to check that email, disturbing email in some ways, that they changed the deadline about that Dear Appropriators letter. And if you can take action today, that would be great. I sent my email this morning to my congressman. Luckily mine's cool. But anyway, which is unusual. Have yourself a good day, and thank you very much. Bye.